a job with it. The only thing they probably have been able to do with this is to do national service. Even that, there are some people who couldn't get national service to do, and their certificate is hanging in their parents' hall like a piece of decoration. That is all they've been able to do with their university. And when I was going to university, my parents told me that as I'm going, I should try and study hard and pass well. That was all the advice they gave me. Study well and pass well and make us proud. And so for a lot of us, we go to the university with the intention that we are going to learn book and get a degree or a master's or whatever and then bring home. But 4 years is too long a time to dedicate your life to doing just this one thing that you may never even use. I know people who have studied courses in school that they have never used, and other things have brought them fulfillment. Okay, so university education, your university experience, it goes beyond academics. It is actually a time of preparation for life. You will never be 100% prepared for life. No, you will never be. But that time when you are a young adult, when you are in the tertiary institution, is that place in life where you are standing between the bridge of being a child or student and transitioning into being an independent working adult. And that is the time when you have to learn the most, transition from being dependent to becoming independent and getting ready for the world out there. And most universities, most of us, our university education, it revolves around academic diligence. But mind you, there are three main things. Well, for my research and my presentation, there are three things. The first one is your academic diligence. How to make the most out of university education. 1, your academic diligence. 2, your personal development as a human being. And then last but not the least, your social engagement. So it's not just about academic diligence, it's about personal development, and it is also about social engagement. And we are going to gradually go through some of the things that would help you to attain personal development and social engagement during your university. And these things we are talking about does not apply to just those who are at the university now or those who are yet to enter university. Life is one big university. And so if you have never been to a university or if you are finished, this still applies to you because life is one long university education. One of the very important things that anybody needs, everybody, you need that, and that will to a large extent determine how well you live your life, is your purpose or vision or sense of vision. And the Bible says in Proverbs 29:18, it is not church, okay, but I'm just quoting. Proverbs 29:18, that where there is no vision, the people perish. And so every one of us, we must have some kind of vision for our life. When you picture your life in the next 5 years or 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, what do you see? And the way you live your life today will determine how your life becomes in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And so that vision you have for your life, what you want to do with your life, is what will guide your actions and steps today. Vision is a very clear picture of what you desire to achieve or experience in the future. And you know, let me try and use a metaphor to describe vision or purpose. You see, the place where they treat water for us, after they have treated the water comes to our homes. But the water is put into pipes. And because they are put into pipes, the pipe guides the water to get to its desired destination. Then when you open your tap, the water would flow. Without the tap to guide the water, it would never reach your house. It will just be, water flows, there be a beko everywhere it will go. That is how vision or purpose is. It guides or controls your actions. Can you imagine if you have to walk from your bedroom to your gate or the front of your hostel, wherever it is you are? When your eyes are open, or when there is light, clarity, illumination, it is a very quick thing. You just move, and then you are in front of your house. But imagine if you are blindfolded and you have to make that same journey. One of the things that happens is that it will take you a longer time. You've always spent 30 seconds to move from your bedroom to the gate. But this time it will take you a much longer time. And the reason why it will take you a longer time is because you have trouble walking. You will bump into things, you will fall down, you will go the wrong way. And if you are not lucky, you may never even arrive at the place you want to go. And that is how it is for those of us who don't take the time to define what our vision and mission and purpose in life is. And the way you act and behave in the university or in life is very consistent with what you expect out of life. And so the first thing to get the most out of your university education, to get the most out of this school called life, you need to define what your purpose or vision is. What do you want to achieve? And then after you have decided what you want to achieve, now you come to, how do I get there? How do I get there? And one of the ways is to have a degree. Some courses are such that when you finish, it is easy to work with them. Courses that have to do with skill, like being a doctor or a nurse or a vocational kind of training. These courses where you learn how to work with your hands, they are very easy. Even if nobody employs you, some way, somehow you can find something to do. But it is not all courses that are like that. And so especially for those of you who are doing courses that are not very practical or very skillful, like you don't have a skill, you need to focus a lot more on the other aspects of university education, i.e. personal development, and for all of our social engagement. And this meeting we are having right now, it's an example of personal development. We are developing ourselves beyond just learning about the things in the classroom. Okay. And so I'm going to delve into a few examples of some of the things we can do to develop us personally. As I go along, if you have had any experience with what I am talking about, just pause me, raise your hand, and then share your experience and let us know how that has impacted your life. One of the things that you need to do in the university is to join clubs and organizations. Example, you need to, if you can, join student politics. And I was very happy when Letitia mentioned that she is the head of this, that. Join some kind of club or organization, especially if the club does something that is of interest to you, that you believe will guide you and help you in your future vision. So you want to be a politician, for example, and then there is a club like debaters, writers and debaters. What are you doing? Waiting for? Just join them. Learn how to talk. You may not know how to talk. You watch the people who are already there, how they argue, point out, how they bring out their facts, how they analyze. As you follow these people, you just learn how to do it. And you realize that when the time comes for you to go into mainstream politics, you are already baked and ready for the market. You learn how to pitch for businesses. If you don't know how to talk in public, you go to pitch for a business idea or some kind of grant, and you will not even be able to open your mouth and talk, although you have all the facts. And so in university, you join clubs and various organizations that would help you and give you skills that would equip you after you have finished school. Some of us need to engage in community services. In Ghana or in Africa, one of the biggest example I can give you is church. Okay, and church is not just about I'm going to serve God, or the mosque is not just about I'm going to serve God. It is a community, and that is where you learn community service. You learn how to serve, because when you are in church, maybe you join the choir, you join the usher. Some churches have drama group, all kinds of different things within that community, and you learn how to serve there. You learn how to volunteer. When I was in university, I was part of the choir, and every vacation my fellowship would say that, okay, we are going to this village, we are going to have an outreach there, and I would follow them. And I learned how to live with all kinds of people. I was not afraid to go to very remote areas because I have done that in the university. I had learned how to relate with people who come from places that are poverty stricken, because during university I went to those places. I interacted with them. Sometimes we carried food and went to give to them. And that was where I learned community service. And it has followed me from University of Ghana. When I came to University of Ghana Medical School, I continued in student politics, and I love to do community service. So I was doing outreaches all the time. We went to companies, and through that, one company even paid for me to go for my exchange program in US and Denmark at the time. Because of community service, I learned that in the university, and it helped me greatly. Some of you are in the university, and all you attend lectures. Apart from lectures, you don't go anywhere. And I remember in the university, there were a lot of programs. There were a lot of motivational speakers that I listened to. I listened to one man called Adrian Crawford. I don't know if you guys have heard about him. He's a preacher. He talks a lot about relationship and how to navigate relationships in the university. Generally, he talks about life. There was this man called There to Me. There was a program on campus I attended, and he came to speak, and he lighted up some passion inside of me. And for many years, I carried that fire with me. And so if you're on campus and you don't go anywhere, program be a call, you are always in your room, you are missing out. You are missing out, my dear. You need to attend programs, and you need to network, not just with your mates, but with faculty. When we talk about faculty, normally we are talking about your lecturers and other people who are not students in the university. And I'm glad somebody in the beginning, the intro, talked about relationship. All the big people you see in society today, they were once students. And some of them had classmates. I'm sure that President Mahama or ex-President Akufo-Addo, they had mates in the university who have not been able to make anything out of their life. And yet they were in the same schools, probably in the same class or in the same dorm. What are you doing with the relationships that are at your disposal in the university? One of my biggest regrets, and if I had a chance to go back to university, one of the things I would do is to make friends. If I could befriend everybody, I would. Because relationship is one of the finest currencies. And so in university now, please, your classmates, don't just confine yourself to just one or two people. Be open-minded and make friends with people from all courses, every kind of house. Don't be selective. Oh, me, I'm in Volta Hall. I don't deal with people in the Kwafo Hall. Or I'm in this course. Me, I don't talk to people from the... I do this course. Oh, me, I don't talk to people from humanities. They are doing dondology. Be open-minded. Anybody that you have a chance to interact with, if there's an opportunity to build a relationship with that person, by all means do so. And of course, your lecturers and the faculty are older than you, and chances are that they have experienced and seen more in life than you have. And so by drawing close to your faculty, your lecturers, your teaching assistants, the various people that teach you in the university, some of them would open you up to opportunities. The last time I have a young man at UCC I take care of, and he was chatting with me, and he told me that one of his lecturers has given him a link to some scholarship to go and do PhD in the US. And so he's applied, and they've asked him to do some medicals, and he's waiting for it. This opportunity was presented to him by a faculty member. And so can you imagine if he had never bothered to build a relationship with his lecturer? Well, how would the lecturer even know that somebody like you exists? You need to make sure that you are in the orbit of concern of the people who matter. And some of us run away from faculty because we don't do the right thing. What lectures no own call, they give assignments you will not do. If they are looking for troublemakers in the course, you are one of them. And so we need to clean up our act so that we can get close to some of these people who know where the meat is, and they can guide us and say, go this way. This is the way to make it. Build relationship, network with your peers and your faculty. I have more to say, but I want to pause here and then give people the opportunity. As of now, based on the things I have discussed, share your experiences. If you have any regrets, you can share them. Any lessons you have learned that are in line with the few things that I have discussed so far. Now is the time. Thank you. A few friends, but when I make friends, I go all out for the friendship. And in doing so, I get to know about or know the parents of my friends. Or some of my friends, when they go home, they talk about me to their parents. And so I had parents of my friends sending them money and food to bring to me when they are coming home from vacation. I had a parent of one of my friends who used to give me clothes to wear, and I mentioned at one presentation that it was one of her dresses that I wore when I was going for medical school interview. Because if not for the hand-me-downs that my friend's mother gave me, I didn't have anything decent to wear to go for medical school interview. And so when you are making friends, don't be narrow-minded. Just be all out. If your friend invites you to a house or his house, go. Be polite with the family. Be down to earth, humble, serve. I listened to Joshua Selman a lot, and he said something. He said that who loves you matters more than who you love. And so who are the people in this world who love you? And how would people love you if you don't put yourself out there and serve them? Love responds to love. There are some people who would never have loved you or looked your way, but for a smile you gave them or a service you rendered, And so if you are not making friends, you are not serving in any capacity, you are letting life pass you by. Because as you serve, you meet people and people fall in love with you because of what you are doing. One of the most important decisions, I think it is actually the most important decision in everybody's life, at least those who choose to marry, is the person you marry. And there are a lot of people who meet their life partners in school, in university. A lot of people meet their life partners in university, and most people nowadays, immediately after the first 2, 3, 4 years after university, people are marrying all over the place. And so if you go to university for 4 years and you don't put yourself out there, learn how to relate with the opposite sex, build friendship with the opposite sex so that you know all the different varieties and classes of men and women that there are. By the time you are ready to choose, you don't know anything about a man or woman. And you go and choose very wrongly and you become very disappointed. I'm telling you, one of the regrets in my life. When you are in university, that is the time that, I'm not saying that be fucking around, excuse my French, but build relationships with the opposite sex. Date people, learn how to relate to a man, talk to guys, find out the things that are important to them. There are different kinds of guys out there, there are different kinds of ladies. And the more people you know, the more you know your sample space. Then when you are making a choice, you make an informed choice. Karim, do you have something to say? Mr. Karim. Okay, so those of you who go to university, you will never talk to a girl, you will never talk to a boy. Udiani say you are going for lectures, you are coming. Even when it's church time, you only deal with the boys. How would you know how to handle a woman? If you don't date a few women and know that we have mood swings, some of us are some way, some dress very nice, but when you go to their room, it's like baller. How would you know? You need to date. This one, dear, I'm telling you, as part of building relationships, date the opposite sex, unless you don't want to be married. And in any case, if you think you don't want to marry, then I'm here to tell you that I think that you are making a mistake. Because 2 is better than 1. 2 is always better than 1. And so those of you are in the university, you haven't dated before. I'm not saying that go and do nkwalabonisem, but you need to study the opposite sex. And you do that through dating or friendship. When you join clubs, you meet the opposite sex, you interact with them, then you are studying them. You know how Kojo is, you know how Yao is, you know how Kwesi is, you know those who don't like bathing, those who love their body more than anybody else. So you decide which one you want. When the time comes for you to choose, you know that you like men who bath. Even if he doesn't have money, that is the one you like. But if you didn't know that before, you go and choose something and you end up being very frustrated with your life. Intimacy, build relationships and let it extend to the parents. And so you know somebody and then you use that to leverage on to know people that the person you know knows. Then your circle is becoming bigger. One of the things you can do whilst you are in university is to look for internships or work experience. And sometimes you need to volunteer to work without money. If you don't work without money, how will the people in that big organization that is so hard to get, how would they know that you are fantastic? So even as a student, you seek for internship maybe in Parliament House or Nestle Ghana Limited or Unilever. It can even be some kind of small company next to your house. But just volunteer and go into the field of work and have an idea how the field of work is, how people relate at work, the things you need to learn. I interview a lot of people for jobs, and most of the people I interview for my business are people who are just out of school. And it will shock you, a lot of people don't know very basic things that university students should know. Some people don't even know how to convert Word to PDF. Obi wa only computer ne mami to mean to be man. But if you had gone to do internship, there were computers there, and there are people who convert Word to PDF every day, and they will teach you how. They will teach you how to send emails. They will teach you how to do basic life skills. Free, or you think you are volunteering for them, but you are learning essential skills that will place you above your peers in the marketplace. You learn how to talk to your boss, how to talk to your superiors. And so by the time you go for your first job interview, the world of work will not intimidate you anymore. You've been there, seen it, done it. So look for internship, find work experience. If they don't want to pay you and you can afford to feed yourself, volunteer to do it for free. And there have been people who have volunteered to work for me for free, and I have never watched them go hungry. And yet then at the end of the week, I know that this young man is telling me that he is doing volunteer work. But in my heart, I know that he is contributing to my business. And so at the end of the week, I give him something for transportation. And that is the kind of person who, if he finishes school and he comes and says that, oh, I want a job with Rand, because I know his work ethic, I will not even think twice about taking him. It has nothing to do with his certificate and whether he got a first class or a third class. Because sometimes what you have on your certificate does not tally with your output at the workplace. So by all means, do internships, look for work experiences, put yourself out there. Let the people in the workplace know about you even before you get out of university. And even if you will not work at Nestle Ghana Limited, somebody at Nestle knows somebody at Parliament House or somebody at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and they'll put in a word for you and say that this guy, this lady, she's amazing, take her. I have a personal assistant, and before I met him, I had told my pastor that, Pastor, I need a personal assistant. I get tired and I need somebody to help me. At least the person can drive me so that I can work on my way to and from work. I mean, I live in Kaswa, I work in Accra. So I spend 3 to 4 hours every day minimum in traffic. And that amount of time can be used for a lot of work. And so I said that to my pastor. Then one fine Sunday, I went to church. And back then when I was at ICGC, I was part of the protocol team. When people come to church for the first time, we welcome them, we take their details. So one time this young man came to church. I took his details. I thought it was business as usual. Then when we closed, my pastor called me. And then he called the newcomer. And he said, this is Mr. Alex Edukofi. I want you to take him on and work with him. And my pastor told me he did his national service at ECG with me. I was his boss, but ECG does not have a vacancy. But this guy is hardworking, so doctor, employ him. And I trusted my pastor that he knew what he was talking about. And I took the young man on. At the time I took him on, I told Pastor I was looking for somebody who could drive. I discovered that he didn't know how to drive. He said he's only driven once in his life from Kaswa, Budumburam to the toll booth. And I was like, oh my God, I wanted somebody who could drive. But then I decided that, okay, because Pastor has recommended him, I'm going to try him anyway. And I want to tell you that this young man has worked with me for a little over 2.5 years. And he has been phenomenal. I'm sure there was no way I could have taken him if he had come for an interview, knowing that he couldn't drive, because I was looking for somebody who could drive. But because he had worked somewhere and the person knew me and told me that this guy is good for you, I took him. And he's been one of my biggest blessings. And as I speak to you, he started doing another degree because he wants to be a sonographer and keep working with me at RAND. That is the power of relationships and internships and work experience. So if you are privileged to get an opportunity to work anywhere, in fact, when they give you a window of opportunity, open the window, make it a door. Because you never know. Everywhere you find the opportunity to work or serve, especially now that you are in university, put all of your heart into it and watch how it will transform your life. Our time is fast spent too, so I think I'll pause here. I'm out of time. I'm not out of ideas. I'll pause here and then people can make their submissions and we'll call it a night. Thank you. It's about developing personal skills, hobbies, and interests, okay? And so for every one of us, I beg you, find something you can learn that you can do with your hands, for example, or that you can in the future turn into money. For example, Enoch, I don't know where he learned it, but Enoch knows how to barber hair. Okay, so he says when he was in the university, he was barbering hair. And when he finished university, there was a time we were talking about, Enoch said he wants to be an entrepreneur. So I'm like, what do you have now that you can start with? What do you have in your hands? It's a verse in the Bible. God asked Moses, what do you have in your hands? And I'm like, oh, you know how to barber hair. So we can use that as a platform. Why don't you get a few things and then do mobile barbering? And as you do mobile barbering, and you want to give your testimony yourself?
No, please, not today, please.
Hey, why is there a girl beside you?
No. I'm just loving the whole presentation.
You dear that, I know dear sir, no that was now I found no. So Enoch started to do mobile barbering, coupled with his amazing personality and human relations. Yes, one of the things you need to always remember is to be nice. Be nice to people. Just decide that as for you, you are an image of love. Let people see you and be happy. Okay, so Enoch has this amazing personality. He talks easily with people. He connects with people. And the last I heard from him, somebody he barbered hair for went to stood for some kind of prefect or leadership position in their school. And when the person won, because Enoch gave him tips, he won the election. Then when he got the post, he went to talk to the people, the owners of the school, that there is this amazing guy who barbers hair and he wants them to make Enoch their official school barber, give him a place to set up. And so from having nothing seemingly to identifying that, I can barber hair, and starting to do it on a very low profile and small scale, coupled with his very good interpersonal relationships, somebody is ready to make him a school barber. And guess what is going to happen? Enoch would employ people because he can't be the only one barbering the hair. He has to go and talk to girls and find out the girls there are out there. So he will employ other people to work for him and he will pay them. And as it gets bigger, that place will be too small for him. Or he will realize that, say about Brinisika, so he will open another one at Medina. And on and on and on. This is one of Enoch's experience at EDS. And so here sometimes you feel like you don't have anything to give, anything to offer. But as you interact with us all the time, you would come to identify that you have something to offer. Some of you know how to do graphic designing, but you've never pushed yourself to use it in a way that you can monetize it. Like Abdul. Now Abdul is doing I'm sure he's doing things that he can do now that he couldn't do when he came to Yedverse in the beginning. But you explore, find the skills you have, explore and build on them. If you are here and you don't have any skill, just say, you don't know how to braid hair, you don't know how to cook, you don't have any skill, please, I beg you, go and learn a skill. The other time I was telling a group of people that me, Rosemont, was granting, if something very tragic happens to me today, and I cannot practice as a doctor anymore, mean to me and your cry, I can open a kenke house in the middle of Kaswa and make the most amazing kenke. I can make jollof, I can make wache. So there are a lot of skills that you already know or have, or you can learn that you can use to make a life. But some of us, because we go to school and we are university graduates, we think that we need to sit in an office and wear a tie. Sometimes I feel like doctor na hame, manye doctor na miye because ton ade wo mokola nka sese bre V8 bi a mi twi ni Maybach bi esi mi fie no. School na hame. And some of you, because quote and unquote you've gone to school before, you don't want to do certain things. But that is where the money is. That is where the money is. You think it is too low for you. Your friends will. Who cares who thinks what about you? It does not matter what people think about you. If it will bring you joy, it will bring you fulfillment, it will put money in your pocket. My sister, my brother, learn that skill. Go and learn a skill. And the good thing is that now we have internet. There is everything on the internet, unless you don't want to learn. If you have data to do Facebook and to do TikTok, by all means, you should have data to self-develop yourself. Last week, I did a soup called Rere Nkwany. How many of you have heard about Rere Nkwany? I heard another name for it. It's Akate Nkwany. Okay, Linda knows about it. Who else? Ben is patience. Is a man for him Rere Nkwany na minim. So, your boss, Dr. Sir Cranton, one day he asked me that, oh, my favorite soup is a soup called Rere Nkwany. Me, I grew up in Kolegono. My mother is 100% Ga. I have never heard about Rere Nkwany. And then this man says that it is his favorite food. If it was you, what would you do? No, let's be honest and realistic. If you were in my shoes at that point, what would you do? What would be your reaction to this situation? Let's make it a bit interactive. Hello, AB.
Madam, I think if I were to be in your shoe, the best option is to find a way of getting that soup on the table for him. So probably you're going to go out and buy it outside somewhere.
Hey, Abraham, in all my life, there's a buffet at Afrikiko. And that buffet, when you go, they have like 9 different soups. And all the time that I've been to that place with 9 different soups, I've never seen anything called Rere Nkwany. Have you seen some anywhere before? Me, I don't know. I'm only asking. How many chop bars in Accra sell Rere Nkwany? Letitia is laughing.
Yet to be established.
You see? And so for a lot of people, when I was going to marry this man, some of his friends told me that, hey, you are going to marry a Ghana woman. Ghana women is only kenke and fish they'll give you. They don't know how to make soup. If you see him, you can ask him if I'm lying. And that is the notion people have about Ghana women. We are specialists in kenke and pepper and fish. But I took the pains to learn how to make soup. And maybe it was some soup I prepared for him that made him come to chase me. Please, they say that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. It is not 100% true, but it is true. So please, if in perchance you are here and you are a woman and cooking is not a very strong skill, it is not too late to learn. And a lot of women, or some women in my shoes at this point, will decide that me, I don't even know where who will be there. So you manage with groundnut soup, you manage with palm nut soup, and then we would find an excuse and then rubbish the whole thing and then move on, because that is the path of least resistance. But I decided that if this is what this man likes, let me learn how to do it. So I went on YouTube. Then I typed Rerenkwine. I thought that YouTube didn't know Rerenkwine. YouTube brought up videos and all kinds of things on Rerenkwine. And that day I watched like 4 different videos on how to make Rerenkwine. Apparently the thing is like melon. Then you roast it. I'm saying it to bring you to a point too. You roast it, then you blend it, or you pound it, and then you mix it with water and extract the pulp out of it to make the soup. And I hear that you have to sieve it like 5 times to get it to be very smooth. And I was told before I started that it is even more difficult than palm nut soup. But I told myself that if this is what this man likes, then I'm going to do it. So I went to the market. I was asking, please, I'm looking for something they used to make Rerenkwine. And I asked like 6 or 7 people before I found it. And when I brought it home, I called my mother-in-law to ask her how to do it. The long and short of this story is that last weekend, for the first time in my life ever, I made Rerenkwine. And you know, when I brought the melon seeds home, my sister-in-law was home. Then she started laughing. Then I asked her why. She said, oh, even the melon, they have some that they have already roasted and milled. So all you do is to buy it and then you mix it with water, then you sieve it. I didn't know. So I did the whole process from beginning. My point is that if there is something that can help you, take you to the next level, or put something that you really want in your hands, you should be willing to do whatever it takes to get it. Other people have done it. Why not you? All you need is the commitment to put in the work to get it. So learn a skill. It is not too late. Even common driving, there are some people who have not yet learned how to drive. And I know that sometimes it's money, but where there is a will, there is a way. Learn skills. Learn essential life skills that would help you. Sometimes even just language, just a language can open doors for you. There are so many things you can learn that you don't need money for. So learn it. Go online. Somebody once told me that he learned, babe, was it you? Somebody told me that he learned how to drive on YouTube. So he watched the videos, then one day he got somebody's car, then he started driving. There's everything out there on the internet. If you have a phone, you don't have excuse for a lot of things. Develop your hobbies and your skills. Learn how to dance. Please, who knows how to dance? Can you send me some videos on basic dance? I want to learn how to dance. For some people, just the way they dance is going to open doors for them. So learn something. Learn how to photography. Learn how to code. Sometimes in the university, some people come and do workshops and teach these things for free. But because you are so happy staying in the dorm and gossiping or discussing K-drama, somebody is teaching how to code for free or teaching how to sew for free. Or there's a course like this where you learn personal development. It is 300 cedis. You don't mind braiding your hair for 500 or buying wig for 500. But things like this that will push you from your comfort zone and make you a higher version of yourself, you will not do it. And so one of the things you need to do in university is to push yourself out of your comfort zone. That is where you make the mistake. So push yourself. That is where you can start a business. Your friends may laugh at you, but don't mind them. If you know how to braid hair, weekend, set up some corner in your room, braid 1 or 2, collect money, put in your pocket. Every week you are saving it. By the time you finish school, you have already bought your first Uber and somebody is driving it. A lot of you have skills and hobbies in your pocket that you can turn into money, but you are worried about what people will say or think, or you have not joined a group like this that will open your mind up to the possibilities. You don't need to leave school to find a job. You don't need to leave school before you can start a business. Wherever you are today, right now, you can do something. Ask yourself, what do you have in your hands? Some of you can even start a YouTube channel. You know how to talk well, or there's something you are very good at. Teach people how to do it. And in the beginning, it may take a very long time, but eventually you are going to come out into the limelight. The place is very quiet. Please, I'm going to pause here. Joy in the process of doing what would make other people's lives better. And so, Louisa, yes, you have, was it Louisa who asked the question? Somebody asked, I've forgotten, forgive me. You have your purpose. There are things that you learn that would shepherd you towards your purpose. But don't forget to look on the sides as you go. You just may stumble upon something that will change your life forever. There are people who were bank managers and they have stopped and they are selling wache and they are making money. There are people like Enoch who have gone to university and yet they have found potential business in barbering hair. And it will amaze you that sometimes these things that you never thought about, they will bring you the greatest joys. Greatest joys. And so keep an open mind as you go through life. Any chance you have to learn something, learn it anyway and put it in your pocket. When push comes to a shove, you use it. When I was in the university and things were hard and my parents couldn't support me, I was selling in the university because I had learned how to sell from the age of 7 years, selling kenke by the roadside. So when things became hard, guess what? I went to Mokola, then I bought pad and I bought tea roll and I bought earrings. And I brought it to the medical school and I went around and told people, I sell tea roll, I sell pad. And that was what I used to take me through university. The skill to sell. And by the way, like my husband would always say, one of the skills that everybody needs to learn is how to sell. You have to learn how to sell. And when we talk about selling, it is not just about you selling a commodity, you selling your ideas, you selling yourself as a brand, talking for people to understand and appreciate what you are talking about, getting people to reason with you and to agree with you on a subject matter. It is all part of selling. And that is why you are here on this platform. You make your submission and get us to understand and agree with what you are saying. And that is you selling yourself. Thank you. Okay, I have 1 or 2 last comments. Let me say it before we open the floor. It's almost 8:30. One of the skills that everybody needs to learn is time management. You need to learn how to balance your studies, your work, and leisure or socialization. You can't learn and not work. You can't work and not have leisure. And so you need to find a fine balance. There's a time to work. There's a time to learn. There's a time to have fun. There's a time to unwind. And there's a time to sit down and reflect on your experiences and evaluate your progress and decide that this is what I have learned. This is where I have grown. This place I haven't grown very well there. Where do I need to reprioritize so that I become a better person in the places where I am failing? Every now and then you need to come back to the drawing board and tell the truth to yourself. You need to learn the skill of telling the truth to yourself. Some of you are so dishonest, you cannot even tell yourself the truth. Even when you are doing what is wrong, you defend it and you convince yourself. Hey, if you are lying to yourself, then who can you not lie to? And you know that your life is a mess, and yet you are talking big and you come out and you are dressed nice and you make everybody believe that life is good, and you are slowly dying inside. Why are you lying to yourself? One of the skills you need to learn is to tell yourself the truth. And that is how you genuinely grow. To tell yourself the truth, where you are failing, where you are stinking, where you are terrible at. Tell yourself the truth and give yourself an opportunity to grow and be better. Take good care of yourself. Exercise. Sleep well. Me cry. This one, I'm saying it, I'm shy. My husband always says I don't sleep well. Sleep well. Find time to relax and take care of your body. You have just one body. With all that you are doing, learn to prioritize your health, and not just your physical health, what you eat, exercise, and sleep, but your mental health. The people you listen to, the things you brood about, the things you talk about. The Bible says that if there is anything that is beautiful, praiseworthy, lovely, those are the things you should dwell on. The bad things in your life that have passed, leave them in the past and move on and think about better days. Forget about the opportunities that you have missed. Forget about the fact that you did not join a thing like Yedvest 1 or 2 years earlier, or whilst you were in the university. The most important thing is that now you know better, and so go out there and do better, be better, and find better for yourself. I think it's a good place to end and allow others to talk.